Let's face the facts. It's time to reopen Arizona because our favorite craft breweries are just struggling during the time of COVID-19. Welcome to the Brewmance on the radio. My name is Rob Hunter. Down the way on the west side of the valley, my man Mike Russell. We're going to pick beers of the week. In a moment, we will run you through those and we review them at the end of the show. But we do want to say we know that division is thriving, but we here at the Brewmance are not part of that. No. We believe that life is best celebrated with great drinks and great friends. So let's get into it, Mike Russell. What are you drinking this week?
You start. I want to know what you're drinking. You start, because I have something that's going to make you mad. I'm going to put it up on the screen here because these shows are being streamed on, well, not streamed on YouTube, but they're on Facebook and our YouTube page as well.
Yeah, so go check it out. Just type in the Brewmance there. You'll find it. So, all right, Mike, I am going with Huss Brewing Company's Coffee Kolsch.
Ooh, wait a sec. Now, we reviewed that on a trampoline, pal. That was one of the best reviews we've ever done because we got to do the whole celebratory, like, spray each other thing at the end. That was fabulous because they were all so shaken. But I specifically brought that beer to review years ago just because you hated coffee. So I'm excited to see what you think about it now that you're a coffee drinker.
That's exactly why I want to redo it, because I gave it a lower score because I didn't like coffee then. Now I like coffee, so we'll see how we do. Okay, Mike Russell, what's going to make me mad on your end?
It's going to make you mad because this is an oldie but a goodie too, one of our favorite brews, but I just found it on the store shelves. It is just hitting store shelves. So I'll open it here. There we have it. And I'll show it on the screen here. It is the Helton Northeast IPA in cans, available at your local Total Wine and other retailers. I am so proud of Brian Helton. So this is coming back and is Rob's favorite beer. So I'm drinking it 24 miles from him.
Can you see which finger I'm holding up 24 miles away? I'm just curious. I want to actually.
I'm number one? You think I'm number one?
Fantastic. Number one. But look, this is actually a good moment for Brian Helton and for brewers. When they get their beer into a store, it's not typically as easy as calling up Total Wine. Like, look, I open a brewery. Here's my beer. I'm just going to bring you some cans. There's a lot involved in that. So it definitely should be celebrated when your favorite beer or a brewer down the street from you is able to put their beer in a can and put it in a store. So Huss has been doing that for a while too. But typically it's a process. There are different laws and different rules that require a lot of this to work through distributors. So Brian had to go get a distributor. They helped him put it in the store. But it's such a great milestone moment. And he's got to be so proud too to be able to like walk in the store and be like, that's the beer I made right there. It's my recipe.
He posted it and I forgot about it. He posted that he was pointing to his cans in the store and how excited he was about that. And then I was just strolling through Total Wine and I thought, what? There it is right there. It just smacked me. And his boysenberry sour as well is in cans and available for your enjoyment. So yeah, it's just a cool, we've known Brian since he, didn't have a beard. So it is a beer duh. I don't know if it ever goes back far enough that he did not have a beer, but yeah, beer. So we're just proud of him. We're happy for him, Brian. Congratulations. But yes, we had an opportunity last week. We had to scoot out so we could do this very program. But it was a virtual beer fest that was put on by Arizona Craft Brewers Guild. And it was really neat. It was done virtually, and it was done in Zoom. So the head brewers, owners, everybody getting together and just sharing and saying hi. And I think the biggest takeaway from the entire event was everybody being so happy to finally see each other again and to bring everybody back together again and just once again look each other in the face and say, hi, I see you. Look, it's not just a picture of you. I'm not seeing you on Instagram. That's you. I can talk to you right there and see you. So it was neat to see all those crew. There's probably 80 or 90 people at a time that were in the Zoom call. So it was absolute chaos, but it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
And it was a reminder as to which breweries are open and what they're trying to do and if they're selling growlers and if they're doing deliveries, because only a few of them are actually doing deliveries. But the theme that obviously stuck out was every one of them is struggling. Every one of them sales is down. I think Renhouse mentioned their production is down 30%, which is probably a little bit of better than others are doing. The BRI guy, Matt, he said something we can't repeat on the radio. Oso said, look, I actually took notes because I was curious as to how they were doing. I got to find Oso. I think it's, what did they say? I think it was something to the effect of, we're out here trying to survive or something like that.
Yeah.
So, that was kind of the theme of it. Yep, exactly. So that's why we want to reopen this and get this thing going, because we're afraid that one of these 100+ breweries that we now have, we've become a really nice place for craft beer, a destination, if you want to call it that. We're afraid that some of them may not have enough funds to sustain themselves the longer this shutdown goes on.
That's true. And it was basically, let me show you what we're doing. Yeah, they were walking around their phones or their cameras or their computers, and they were just saying, here, look what we're doing. Here's our brewery. We've upgraded this tank, or we've done this. We're just, trying to stay busy, keep our people employed, keep paychecks going out, and hopefully some revenue coming in with people driving by and getting growlers and things like that. So it was a big team event. And I think that was another takeaway that I had, was that in any other business, when you compete with other companies, restaurants, whatever it is, at a time like this, you'd be like, oh man, I hope they go out of business. It's cutthroat, that type of thing. These guys, they're all going and buying beer from other breweries and filling their growlers and keeping them going and doing events with them and collaborating. And it's such a cool business to be in. And Brewmance, I'll speak on Rob's behalf as well. We're just proud to be a part of it. We're just proud to be in this kind of a group where people are like-minded like us. We just like to help out.
No question about it. In fact, we are trying to help out. I'll mention it right now. This is a bit of a sales pitch for you. However, we have T-shirts. They're No Fake Brews T-shirts. They're really kind of a cool design. We think that you'll probably dig them. Every T-shirt you buy, the profit is going to the same thing that Virtual Beer Fest Mike was just talking about. We're going to take $5 from every T-shirt. That's our profit margin, because we're giving you a bracelet as well, like a free Lady Brewmance. My wife is like hand stamping these bracelets. They say Brewed Strong. We're giving you that as well. So we want to make sure that we're giving this money to help keep these places open as much as we can. So if you go to brewmance.beer, that's our website, pick up a shirt and a bracelet. It's just $25. So we'll get at least $5 right over to the Craft Brewers Guild so they can distribute it where it most needs to be. So again, that's brewmance.beer. Just go to the swag section. You can get it while you're there. So you can do your part to help as well, because these are amazing people. They employ over 9,000 people across the state with a $1 billion economic impact. That's just beer, folks. That's why we love it so much. Well, that and it tastes good.
And I still have a beef, and I've had this beef all week since we started selling these things. I don't have a bracelet. I have a shirt, I have a hat, a pint glass, got it all. Don't have a bracelet.
I got yours right here.
Oh, wait, see? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the mail's still going, bro. The mail is still going. The mail still works. You have my address. You are so.
I lost it.
This week you went to a gym.
I did.
We went to a gym this week. I'm not going to rat anybody out and where you went, but I mean, you actually went out and did something. I'm very proud of you. It's outside of your run, or you've gone to 2 stores during this whole lockdown thing, but you actually went out and did something normal. That is something that's encouraging to people.
That was the best part about it. Not only did the workout kick my butt, but it felt great to actually be around people. So there was, there was probably 6 or 7 or 8 people in the gym. And I was like, this is kind of cool because it's kind of speakeasy-like, where you're trying to sneak around. He actually did. We talked to the gym owner on Russell and Hunter in the afternoon, and he told us that he got a call from the cops. They said, if you stay open, we're going to arrest you. And he said, look, I don't want to say my gym name, not because of me, but because I want to protect my members. So when I was in there earlier this week, he was like, the cops apparently rolled by and they asked where the gym was, and someone didn't rat me out. I'm like, all right, this is awesome.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. Okay. Well, but that's the thing though. I mean, it's now underground to go do what you normally do. It's underground speakeasy type. And the reason why I do bring this up is because this is Arizona's only craft beer show. So we do deal with beer and alcohol. And back in the days of Prohibition, we feel like that right now. We're not just prohibited from drinking alcohol like they were. So thank goodness we still have that. And sales of alcohol are up 50% nationwide. But we're prohibited from doing everything else. And that is, I'm just glad that we still have our beer. So I can handle Prohibition on everything else just as long as I have my health in Northeast IPA. I'm good with that. I'm a happy man.
Yeah, no question about it. Speaking of, one thing we'll talk about a little bit later, Germany's canceled Oktoberfest already. This is crazy talk. Like, what's going on here? It's very upsetting. Very disappointing.
Ain't no thing. You know why? Because we can have our own. America will have enough Oktoberfest for Germany.
Yeah, we'll get you covered. In a moment, we're going to walk you through what we think should happen. What if we owned a restaurant or a bar or a brewery, what we would do to reopen. Ready to go? Ready to do this? What steps would you put in place? What steps should restaurants put in place in order to get people back into those establishments? It's the Brewmance on the radio. His name is Mike Russell. My name is Rob Hunter. Beers of the week. We'll review them for you in a little bit as well as we continue here on 550 KFYI.
What would it take? What would it take for you to go back to a restaurant? What do you want to see those restaurants and bars and breweries and even movie theaters do? It is Brewmance on the radio. Thank you for being here. We celebrate each and every week with a beer of the week because we are broadcasting from our respective COVID-19 bunkers. We have 2 different beers of the week, but we like to keep them local. I am rolling with the Hilton Northeast IPA as a celebration that they have hit store shelves, and we're very proud of Brian Helton and the crew over there for all their hard work. They're finally being offered to the masses, and during quarantine, this is like gold. Absolutely love it. What you going with, Rob?
I'm going with Huss Brewing Company's Coffee Coach. This is a revisit of sorts for us because when we reviewed this about 3 years ago, I did not drink coffee. Now I drink coffee, so I have to revisit my score and up it. So I'm just going to give you a preview. I'm going to up the score of the Coffee Coach now that I like some coffee. But I love the inventiveness of this beer the Huss has put in here. Because typically you think of coffee beers, you think darker beers, you think stouts, porters, things of that nature, barrel-aged things. This is a Kolsch. It looks like a Kolsch. It's clear, but it tastes like coffee.
Yes,
well
it's
played.
every bit Kolsch,
Well
that's for sure. Yes, very well played. But let's talk about this, because you go into the time of the time of COVID-19, and can you imagine? Most of the people, hey, Grandpa, can you tell us what it was like to live through the COVID pandemic? I say, I drank through most of it, so really don't really remember. It's going to be what it is. But what was it going back? What was it like going back? And I think that's going to be the biggest question for a lot of people, because we're screaming it. All of us are screaming it. We want to go, go, go. We want to get back, open it up. Let's get this economy going. We want to get back to our normal lives. Let's go. Let's make it happen. We're ready to go. But then you really think about it. That idea seems pretty cool on paper, but am I grabbing the kids and rolling out to a restaurant that's all elbow to elbow? Am I going to a movie theater? I don't know. That's where the rubber meets the road. We can scream freedom, give me my freedom. But then you think, do I really want that? Do I really want to go out there right now? It's kind of like, you ever been to an amusement park, like a Six Flags, a bunch of roller coaster amusement park, and they the ride breaks down?
Oh yeah.
You ever want to be the first one back on that? You ever want to be on that first train out of the station as it starts taking off on the newly repaired roller coaster? Not me. I never wanted, but it's kind of having that same vibe. Do I want to be the first one to walk into a restaurant that's about to have 300 people in it? Don't know.
Let me give you the analogy that I would use. I would say yes to both of those answers because everybody is super precautious right now. So if you're in the amusement park and they shut the ride down, they're not opening it until they're sure it's actually running. They've got all their techs and all their engineers working on it. I'm going to imagine most restaurants right now in the valley, once they get the chance to open up, there's going to be spaces. The tables are going to be spaced apart very well. We're going to social distance and eat. I'm going to imagine this is what I would do if I were in a restaurant. So I would bring in one of the bus boys or whatever they're called now. I would have them actually wash each table and chairs, eat in between each sitting. That's what I would do. I'd say, look, this is what we're going to do. We're not going to use that old gross towel rag, which you can smell while you sit down on the table. We're going to actually clean it. We're going to sanitize it. You're going to sit down. You're going to feel actually good while you're in this restaurant. There's going to be hand sanitizer at the door when you come in. You can wipe it off. You can wipe it on the way out. That's what I would do if I were a restaurant.
I'm sorry, I missed most of what you said because I was trying to think of a politically correct title for a bus boy, because if that's what they're called now. I was thinking something like bacteria-laden towel engineer. Maybe, I don't know. Those things are so nasty. Listen. We actually, Rob and I, one of our other jobs, we do corporate training, voiceovers for sales training. And one of the companies does towels and stuff and uniforms for local businesses. And I used to work for that company. I know what that bin where they put all of those dish towels in.
Ugh.
I know exactly what that smells like in the middle of summer out back. It is one of the most disgusting things in the world. So I have a little bit of an inside baseball view of restaurants, so I know what those towels are all about. But here's the deal. If I had a restaurant, I would just hang a sign at the front, say, hey, everything is as what it was prior to COVID. Grow a pair and come on in. That's basically all I'm doing. Look, if
so you go the opposite.
We're doing everything the same way. I'm not going to change my entire business model. I'm working on razor thin margins as it is as a restaurant. I want to make sure as many people can get in there as possible. And I'm not going from 30 tables to 10 unless I'm mandated, unless they threaten to yank my alcohol license. I want to go from 30 tables to 30 tables. Period.
But you got to figure out what the masses are ready for. So you and I want to be part of the first wave. We want to go out. We want to spend money. We want to sit down. We want to have a meal, have some beers. Not everybody's going to be ready for that, as evidenced by our petition, which we have out there, and the amount of heat we have taken. You guys are crazy. You have to promise that if you get COVID-19, you can't get any health care. Okay, the next time the flu season rolls around, you better stay home or your ass shouldn't get any health care either. So come on, stop being ridiculous. Let's stop being children about the way we argue about this. I'm okay with your model because it puts it on me, and I'm ready to do that. But if I'm a restaurant, I don't think most people are. So I would take the steps at the very beginning just to be one of the first out there, get people going, all right, come on in. So I would strategically do it, not forever, but to sort of make sure people know we're going to take care of you while you're here.
And okay, so two things in my model that I would like to point out. Oh, absolutely. You are signing something when you walk in. I don't care if it's on a tablet or whatever it is that says you hold my establishment harmless. If you come down with COVID, it wasn't my fault. And you're signing here and telling everyone that you came in here on your own free will. You grown, you know what, man or woman, and you made the decision as an American to come to this establishment. That's step one. Step two, I want my 30 tables there. And like Rob said, I want you to have the option to let the free market decide. If the market doesn't want to sit down in a restaurant with 30 tables, but 15 people show up, or 15 families, or 15 couples show up, then I know what the market is and I know where it is. But I'm not going to leave money. I'm not going to leave money outside the door. If 30 people want to walk in, they're like, "Yeah, dude, we're totally cool with that. Do you have some patio seating? This is great. I want to sit. I'll sit right over there." Yes, I want that. That's what I want. I want the free market to decide.
And that's okay because you have an option. Mike Russell's restaurant's doing that. Rob Hunter's restaurant's going to take it a little bit easier to let you guys come in with some extra sanitation help. But what about larger events? Or what about, like, let's say a movie theater? Are you ready to go back to a movie theater?
I will go. That's where social distancing has to happen for me because I'm not making that decision. It's not my movie theater. So for me to walk into a place where I am sitting quite literally elbow to elbow with someone, we're kind of sharing a little shared space there that, I don't know. I know that Harkins, prior to closing down at all of their facilities where you could assign seating, where they had the pre-reserved seating, they were limiting how many people could go and where they could sit. So they were social distancing people on their own. In that case, absolutely 100%. Sign me up. I'm in. Let's go.
Yeah, the problem is for me, I only go to the movies like twice a year anyways. So it's going to have to be a movie I really want to see in the theater for me to even consider even going to the theater. Now, I think the same thing. I would say, look, we're going to do our best to be clean. But here's, like, when you go to the grocery store, they have a wipe for you. If there's an actual supply of wipes, here's a wipe on the way in. Granted, that's going to get costly for Harkins or for AMC. But if it gets more people in the doors, yeah, exactly. Charge me an extra 5 cents per popcorn. I'm not going to notice the difference at this point.
Seriously, I have to take a second out of the house anyway to get some popcorn. So yeah, if you're going to charge me 10 cents more for the little wipey wipe, that's fine. I'll do it. Mm-hmm. And by the way, like I said, they've been doing them at grocery stores, and grocery stores will go through a lot more of them a day than a movie theater would, especially if they're limiting their seating and their screenings. So yeah, I don't think it's going to be a big issue, but it's a fantastic idea. But okay, so going back to that, it's the mindset when I walk in that yes, this place, it's that perception, it's that perceived cleanliness that I would probably appreciate. Not that I would look for, but I would definitely appreciate.
Yeah.
If I walk in and they said, here's a wipe, go ahead and wipe down your seat if you would like. If you choose to, go for it. If not, we've already done it for you. But if you want to do it again, have at it there, Skippy. And by the way, you know what kills 90% of bacteria? Friction. So it is the wiping motion that is the thing that's why they tell you to wash your hands for a certain amount of time. It's because of all of that friction. The friction is what kills the bacteria. Alcohol and the wipies.
Look at you dropping some knowledge on the Brewmance on the radio, Mike Russell. I like it.
I've been researching this for 4 weeks now. So yes, I'm in. Yes, I'm moron. I got it.
The new next Surgeon General of the United States, Michael Russell, Phoenix, Arizona. Yeah. Let's do this. We are the Brewmance on the radio. His name is Mike Russell. My name is Rob Hunter. Appreciate you hanging out with us. We also have a podcast for you, separate from this. It's on the iHeartRadio app. Just type in the Brewmance. Follow along. That would be fantastic. When we come back, there's another problem, not only for beer, but for your favorite soda as well. There's a shortage of something. We'll get into it here on 550 KFYI. Sweet. A new warning for beer. It's not even about the beer sales anymore for craft brewers. Oh, no. This is a new warning about something very important in beer, CO2. Welcome back to the Brewmance on the radio. My name is Rob Hunter. My main man broadcasting from his house is Mike Russell. We're hanging out with you on YouTube as well. You can check out the show there, as well as everywhere else we're hanging out. Brewmance.beer is our website. We have beers of the week. I'm going to open up a second one, Michael, because we are working from home. So why the heck not? So I'm going to bust out my second coffee Kolsch of the broadcast from Huss Brewing right here in Tempe, Arizona.
So I got the tall boy going. So this is, of course, the Helton Brewing Northeast IPA, Rob's favorite beer that I get to enjoy over here. But it's tall boy. So I'm just sipping my way through it. I'm not rushing it. I'm giving it with every little sip. It's fantastic, and I love it. But what's going on with CO2, my man? What's going on? You need CO2 for beer. What's happening?
Yeah. Dwindling supplies of carbon dioxide from ethanol plants are sparking concern about shortages of beer, soda, and seltzer. We're all in trouble.
Ethanol plants? Wait, isn't ethanol ethanol's the good stuff from corn, right? E85 or something like that. Remember when fuel was E85 ethanol? The E was ethanol. That's what I thought it was. Corn's in short supply. It's either that or cow farts. One of the two. It's either good for the environment or bad for the environment. I don't know. But CO2 is, if there's a shortage, we need to focus. We need to talk like grown-ups. We are, day by day in this whole COVID-19 thing, reinventing what we do, reinventing priorities. We're relisting priorities. So I think we can do it this way. We can get rid of all seltzers first. All seltzer manufacturing needs to halt immediately because of the CO2 shortage. Then go with really crappy, like the weird diet sodas, not the regular diet sodas that people love. We'll go with the weird diet sodas, like the gimmicky ones. Those can be gone. Pow! Out of the park. We're done. And then we have just enough for regular soda that everyone drinks, like Americans, and beer. I've solved it. What else?
I'm not mad at that at all. Yeah, I'm not mad at that at all. Look, you're solving a problem. We got a problem in America with these suppliers of CO2. Obviously, the carbonation in beer and soda is needed. I agree. Craft beer, you get the lion's share of it. The rest of y'all can fight amongst yourselves. Smart. Prioritize it. Let's go.
And then
you're a genius.
Instagram boyfriends won't have drinks to drink because the seltzer drinks and all those seltzers are gone. So they might actually start drinking real beer and then stop being Instagram boyfriends. So we can eliminate Instagram boyfriends, re-up the manness of this nation, and bring them back to beer and spirits.
Win. Mm-hmm.
And by the way, this week I did try the Jameson cold brew. Oh, it's smooth and fantastic. It's like a cold hot cup of coffee. It's got that coffee taste to it. It just warms all the way down, but it's nice and cold. It's crazy. I loved it. I loved it. Very big fan. Going to get the bottle because it's limited edition. I'm all about it.
So you got to stock up on your limited supply. It's like the new toilet paper, Jameson cold brew coffee whiskey.
I'm a slave to marketing. You absolutely know this. When I see like a gimmicky type of thing, or I see a cool can art or something, I'm going to try that. And I was in Total Wine with my daughter, and I said, "Oh, look, Beans, it says limited edition." She goes, "Well, you better buy two." I'm raising right. That's parenting 101 right there. That just makes you feel good as a parent that you're doing right by your kids.
Well, especially since you're already going back and getting more. I mean, you're already ready. You're already planning it out. Like, look, I'm going to do this. Next beer run to the store, just grab a couple more bottles, and I have 4 sitting on the shelves. I'm ready to go. Got my supply.
It's like, I think it was like $21 for the bottle. It wasn't like it's breaking the bank. I was like, that fantabulous. Yes, and that they have a stout version or a porter, one of the two. They got that version as well. I need to try, and then I'm good. I got the IPA, the cold brew, and the stout. Bang.
Living it up, man. But isn't this interesting though? Because exactly. Because as of right now, there's still plenty of alcohol on the shelves. They're making it, put in stores. We're drinking more. All the statistics say that. But it's so fascinating when you tie back in this ethanol production, CO2. All the things that are impacted by decisions governments have made. It's crazy. Like this is all a choice. Almost everything we have done in regards to the economy is a result of choices right now. And that's the boggling part of the mind. If you want to get into government and whatever, how powerful these decisions are, how many people they've impacted. What was it this week? Another 4.4 million people have filed for unemployment.
Yeah, but that's it. They don't. When you're dealing with politicians, because they're morons. When you're dealing with politicians, there's that ripple effect that they don't see. They just see if I do X and I do Y, I get Z, not A, B, A, C, and onward and onward and onward as we flip it through. So it is it's narrow thinking, and it is impacting our beer supply with a shortage of CO2.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's it. So, right. And this is funny, Joe. I want to add this story in because, again, this is another decision made by government. The government of Pennsylvania, they have a bunch of state-run liquor stores. And I used to live in Florida, and Florida has them too. They call them ABC stores, alcohol beverage control or something like that. Yeah. So you go, and some grocery stores sell them as well, but the liquor stores are state-run. Same in Pennsylvania. They decided that they're going to close them. Not essential. So you have a bunch of people that live in Pennsylvania crossing state lines to get booze. They're going to Ohio, West Virginia, and Delaware. They're going to New York. They're going to New Jersey. They're going to Maryland. So they're trying to get those towns on those borders in Ohio and West Virginia to crack down on these. Look at license plates. Oh, look, there's a Pennsylvania license plate in my town buying booze. Like, this is how crazy we've gone because of this. Just crazy.
Okay. Can we back up a little bit? Because this is a foreign concept to me. The Southern California kid that wised up and escaped California and we're here in Arizona. Tell me about the state-run liquor stores. I honestly don't. I understand that in Utah, things like that, you just kind of roll your eyes and you're like, oh, that's that town. But tell me about this. What is a state-run liquor store? I mean, why would this? I don't understand. Can anyone else have a liquor store, or it's all state-run?
Well, I think that the grocery stores, at least I'm trying to remember because it's been a long time since I lived in Florida. I don't remember all the laws. I think the grocery stores can sell beer and wine, but I think if you need liquor, I think you have to go to the state-run liquor store. So it's some regulatory process that someone passed through the legislature that only allows liquor to be sold in certain places.
So if I remember correctly, is actually in the booze running business.
Yes, exactly.
I don't know if I'm mad at that or like really mad at that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but regulating what? The price control? I mean, they have to be jacking prices up. Oh wow, that is insane. Okay,
I think that because I think that the prices were relatively normal even in the Florida liquor stores, and there was a bunch of them. They were all over the place. Because I think the only time that I would buy liquor when I lived in Florida, which was about 2 years I lived in Florida, was you had to go to ABC. You had to go to the ABC store, alcohol beverage control. And they were nice stores and they were clean and they had this big, it was like going to a Total Wine or a BevMo.
Really?
They were big stores like that. And, they had all kinds of different varieties for you. It's just run and kind of controlled by the state. And I'm trying to see in this article, it doesn't really explain it in this article about why they do it that way.
But I remember, I think it was, I don't think it was Florida. It was, where'd you say it was?
This is in Pennsylvania, where people are crossing the border.
My buddy used to live there, and I remember him talking about this, but I never pressed him like I was pressing you because I didn't really. I think we just painted over it. but he was talking about like they were only open certain times, only buy a certain amount of whatever. So he would have to go, and that by the way, in that state, it is beer and wine. You can only buy it at those locations. So he would have to like stock up every time he went, or he'd have to go across the border. That is blinding to me. Wow. If Arizona did that, I'm not kidding. As much as I love the state, I'm bouncing. I'm gone.
Well, think about that. Yeah. Massachusetts is like that. It's very hard to get a liquor license to sell booze in Massachusetts. I remember for a time, I don't know if this has changed because, again, it's been a long time since I've lived in Massachusetts. There were only like 7 supermarkets in the entire state that actually could sell beer and wine. So in order to go to the liquor store, you have to go to a package store, the Packy, as we called it back in Massachusetts. It was the only way to get liquor. You couldn't buy liquor in any supermarket. You could even buy beer in those supermarkets. Yeah, exactly. So,
oh my God.
It's not like you can go to the convenience store and just pick up some beer. Like here in Arizona, we're just like living the dream as free citizens the way it should be. I can determine where and when I want to buy beer. It's the way it should be.
Why does buying alcohol have to be so difficult? Why do we?
Exactly.
Anything else? In most, even those states, you could probably buy weed. It's probably easier to buy weed than it is booze. That is insane. And by the way, it's easier to buy weed illegally than it is to buy alcohol legally.
A legal product in all 50 states. It is crazy.
Oh my gosh, that is nuts. But something is government, like they say. We're with the government. We're here to help. That is all it is.
And we're in the middle of those decisions that they're making, shutting down liquor stores in Pennsylvania, only curbside order. People are just fed up with it. Like, no, I'm going to go to Ohio then and get my booze. You can't stop me from drinking.
Liquor sales up 50%, baby.
Across the board. You make us stay home. He's Mike Russell. I'm Rob Hunter. We are the Brewmance. Drinking during the day. Well, it's kind of nighttime right now, but I'm on my second. Mike's Stone is first. More our reviews in just a moment here at 550 KFYI.
Don't know if they're offering this because they felt bad or they're offering it because it's a good thing that they had to postpone their weddings. That's right. He is Rob Hunter. I'm Mike Russell. This is Brewmance on the radio. Each and every week, we gather around a beautiful, delicious beer of the week. And I'll start with my man over there broadcasting from his COVID bunker in North Phoenix. Rob, what you drinking over there, bud?
Plus Brewing's Coffee Culture, beer that you and I have reviewed. We did it on Trampoline. Check it out on our YouTube channel. Just type in the Brewmance, you'll find it. We literally drank this beer on a trampoline. And I thought it was good, but I didn't drink coffee at the time. So since then, I've now gotten into coffee. So I'm reviewing it, which you'll get here in just a couple of minutes. Mike, what do you have?
I'm going with the Helton Northeast IPA, which is just very fired up to see it on store shelves. So very proud of our buddy Brian about getting out to the stores. And especially during this time, it is fantastic. But let's get back to it. Busch Beer, and God bless them. I do not like Busch Beer. I'm not a big fan. I mean, I could drink it. It's not awful. I wouldn't spit it out if somebody gave it to me. But I love their marketing they've been doing lately. They have been on a winning streak in doing, I think, the right things by getting their name out there, reestablishing themselves as a good American brand. And this is their latest gimmick. Busch Beer is offering a free year supply of Busch or Busch Light to any couple that has had to postpone their weddings during this. I don't know where they came up with this idea, this concept, but if you have to postpone your wedding due to COVID-19, you're going to get yourself a year supply of beer. I think that's fantastic, but I really think it is. Here's the deal. Why don't you drink a lot of our beer and really rethink this?
Yeah. See what happens. Make sure this is legit. Make sure you're in this for real. Now, the question is Busch Light or Busch going to help that decision or make it worse?
Well, at least they have an excuse like 6 years down the road where we're like, man, this is really bad. We even got to rethink this choice, and we just got so blitzed on beer and had the worst hangovers ever that we just said, yeah, fine. And okay, wait a second. Now we're on something. Because I think shows like The Bachelor, I think those are the most unrealistic shows. Because the first time this guy meets these 50 women or however many women he gets to meet, it's kind of weird, illegal in many states. But he meets all these women. He meets all these women, and they're in these beautiful gowns. They're done up. Their hair is perfect. They will never look that good again, ever, ever, ever. So I think that if you do like a Bachelor type of show, if you want to get real, the women need to go on benders the night before, and I mean just get housed. And that guy needs to show up at like 5 a.m. and say, line up, because that's reality. So Busch Beer, if they want to get people just absolutely snockered, and those two people can survive a Busch or Busch Light hangover together, they might be just perfect for each other. They might, after that, they think it, they're good.
Yeah, that's true. But this is such smart marketing, and this is Busch Light and a couple of others have tapped into this. So instead of going out and spending a national ad campaign money, buying TV commercials, they're like, you know what we'll do? This is what. So whoever their marketing team is just sitting around coming up with the ideas. So they want you to apply to this. So if you postpone your wedding, you go on social media, you post a picture of yourself, and you use the hashtags Busch Wedding Gift and sweepstakes with a caption explaining how they still plan on celebrating. 250 winners will receive a $300 debit card, which can be used to buy 2 24-pack cases or 24 packs per month. And then there's going to be, what's that? So $300 too, which is crazy that $300 is a yearly beer bill if you buy Busch and Busch Light. That's like my weekly tab.
Yeah,
in the craft beer world.
Tell you what my latest run cost. I won't even begin to tell you what that cost. Yikes! Yeah,
and they're getting all kind of coverage. I mean, obviously, we're talking about it here on the Brewmance, so they're getting free publicity. We've got CNN talking about it. It's really smart. It's earned media, as they call it.
Every time I go to Total Wine with anyone in my family or friend or something like that, well, not a friend, anyone in my family, I always cringe at the checkout because I know they're going to say, oh, let's see here, Mr. Russell, you've spent your $500. You have a $5 reward if you would like it. And I'm like,
I just was here yesterday.
No.
What do you mean?
Another Mike Russell. It's got to be another Mike Russell. Right? Yeah.
Whereas I live too far from Total Wine. It drives me crazy. I have a Bevmo not too far up the street. I just prefer Total Wine over Bevmo. Yeah. Total Wine is just a better local selection. This is what it is.
I agree. No, I'm with you 100%. And a better overall selection. More.
That's true. Yeah. I agree. Now, here's another interesting stat I just want to throw at you because this is a stat from 2019. 2019 was a very good year for craft beer sales, partially because of the Brewmance. Like, let's be honest. I mean, we've created a business around drinking amazing craft beers and having interesting conversations around those craft beers while this time of division is thriving. Look, we can be divided, but we can still come together over beer. That's the point. Mike and I disagree often. And on our podcast, which you can find on the iHeartRadio app, we explore some of those areas where we disagree, but we do it with respect because Mike's smart. I know he's smart. I know his heart is in the right place. He's one of my favorite dudes I've ever met in my life. But we disagree. Let's just talk it out, have a beer, and be like, cool, all right, I see where you're coming from. So what we do over craft beer, other people apparently doing as well. Craft beer sales were up 4% from 2018 to 2019. And this is what's going to be such a hard thing to deal with government closures is 2020 was ripe to be a great year for craft brewing until COVID-19. Thanks a lot, y'all.
But I think that the rebound's coming here quickly. And when we talk about the things that we disagree on, this is one of the things that Rob and I disagree on. And I think it's going to be faster than he does. And when it does come back, I think what we're seeing is a lot of people are trying. Just on our Russell and Hunter right here on 550 KFYI, our afternoon show, when we broadcast our shows live, we get comments on Facebook. And we have seen people that said, oh, my gosh, you guys drink that beer? Or it's an IPA. I would never try that. And we start talking to them and they start tiptoeing into things and say, hey, look, I bought one of these. I'm going to try it tonight. Hey, it wasn't bad. And that's what we're here for. Welcome you with open arms. We're not going to judge you. We're not going to judge you for what you drink. We just talked about Busch and Busch Light. We applauded them. We're fantastic what they were doing. And so I think the craft beer industry is going to come back stronger. It's going to come back a little thinner, but I think it'll come right back. And it will, one here locally, I thought Scottsdale Beer Company, I thought they were out of business. Apparently they're not. Apparently they're still brewing beer. So I thought they were done, but nope, they popped their head back up and maybe they got some of the PPP money and they're on their way. I'm excited about that. I think it might be a little thinner, but it's going to be stronger because I think more people are sampling while they're at home.
And that's a good call, too. And that's helpful that, all right, if you live near a brewery, you can go get it. We suggest you getting the Breweey app, BREWEE, because it gives you the location of breweries near you so long as you let the app use your location while you're using the app. So I've got a few near me. I've got Simple Machine. I've got Front Porch. Both of those are pretty new. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how they survive through this. And I got North Mountain. That's not too far away either. A staple that's been in the community for a long time. So curious to see of those three that are the closest to me where I live, how they're going to do over the next couple of weeks and maybe a month or so before we really get back open.
I agree with you. I do. But this is why I chose my beer of the week this week. Because I have missed during this whole lockdown. I'm in the West Valley. I'm 20-something miles away from getting a Helton beer. And I've missed Helton beer. I've missed their Taco Tuesdays. I missed so much about the Brian Helton establishment that it's been like, wow, that's one of the first places I want to go. He brought it to me right there at the Total Wine. I saw it. I was so excited about it, and I was so proud of him. And now this makes quarantine feel a little better, that us West Valley guys don't have to sit and long for the days where we can go to a Phoenix brewery and be happy again. We can be happy right here. This easy. This is just, it's not even a thought. This is a 9. This is a solid 9, easy breezy all day long. It is one of the best beers made in Arizona. Helton, Northeast IPA, Nueve.
That's a beer I would drink all day, any day. I'd love that beer. Yes. So it's like there's a top echelon of IPAs in Arizona. It's that one, Helton's Northeast, it's Tower Station Dragoon. Those are just the three. And I compare those three with any IPA anywhere in the country. Easy.
Yeah.
Bring it on. So
I'm Spellbinder jumped up in there, by the way. The Spellbinder, that jumped up there.
Gravel Ghost is even better at Wren House. That's another story for another day.
Maybe I don't.
We have about a minute left. I'm going to rescore this coffee Kolsch. I think I gave it a 6.5. That was stupid on the trampoline. That was stupid. It's because I didn't like coffee. Now I like coffee. I'm giving this also a 9 because this is a fantastic beer. It is an amazing concept in and of itself to make a Kolsch with coffee in it. And by the way, this is a perfect brunch beer. If you're going out Sunday watching football, this is a good way to get started because it's got your coffeeness and your beer. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing the Hustlers created. So I'm giving you from a 6.5 to a 9 just because I drink coffee now.
My man.
Love it. We got to get out of here, unfortunately. But we'll be back next week at 6 p.m. We'll also be back Monday, 4 to 7, and Tuesday, so on and so forth. Check us out on our website, brewmance.beer, Instagram at _Brewmance. And don't forget the podcast on the iHeartRadio app. Just type in the Brewmance. You'll find us. Have a fantastic week ahead. We'll talk to you real soon.
Cheers, everybody.